I've been dreaming on in my head like I've seen it. A life worth living is a life with meaning. I'll do what I love till my heart stops beating. I'm feeding this demon. Got a taste, can't erase bitterness in my face. Work a job every day till your dreams fade away. Like a card, never change, play the game that we say. I need a break.
Hey guys, welcome back again to Dave's Dimension. Welcome back again for another video. Welcome back to the channel where chaos and insanity will always reign supreme. We are the Dimension and we're ready for another unbox, guys. Are you? Now, you guys know I'm a big Ghostbuster fan. I'm a big Power Rangers, DC, Marvel. I'm all over the place, but yes, near and dear to my heart is Back to the Future. So, we have a Back to the Future unbox today, but this is one for the ages. Now, if you're a big Lego fan, back in the early 2000s, they came up with a small little Delorean Back to the Future. It was okay. It was pretty cool. I never got my hands on it because in price, it skyrocketed like you wouldn't believe. Now, those that know me, if you're a big follower of the channel, you might have noticed about a year and a half ago, almost 2 years now, Lego came up with the Ecto-1 Afterlife Edition, which is all the way up there, and you can hardly see because I got some Funkos and everything around there, but it is a good size Lego kit. It retailed for $1.99 at the time. We got ourselves the brand new Back to the Future DeLorean, okay? Now, one thing that was really cool that they did with this one was, and let me hold this up so you guys can get a good look. This is a good size Lego kit right here. Okay, as you can see, it's a good size kit. We get a lot of accessories in here. You have, not only can you build a DeLorean, but you have an option. We can build Back to the Future 1, 2, or 3 in here. Now this kit, we're going to have a nice good thorough look at it. This is going to be a good size kit. We're not going to build it during this video, but I am going to take some pictures, some videos of while I'm doing it, and we're going to jam into one big video so you guys can kind of see my progression and then the end results. But what do you say we get right on into this, guys? Now, I am such a big, honestly, when I say I'm a big Back to the Future fan, you guys may not fully realize. A couple years ago, I did my first ever cosplay. And I'm a big Ghostbuster fan. It was the anniversary of Ghostbusters, but also up here in Western New York, we have over on the Canadian side, there's a Niagara Falls Comic-Con. They just so happen to be having Christopher Lloyd there. I'm like, well, I love Ghostbusters. It was the anniversary, but the doc's there, so I got to kind of do something a little different. I got to do something out of the box. I was like, well, what the hell? What if I tried my first ever cosplay? And I did. I had a hell of a time. I had to get a custom-made flight suit because I was probably about 480 at the time, 480 pounds. Mind you, I'm 350 now, which is a big difference, but I got a flight suit made by a company that makes flight suits for actual paramedics and, emergency response people who, like through helicopter rescues, things of that nature. So it's a very heavy suit. Mind you, I was wearing this in June. Yeah, I was sweating buckets. I took what's commonly called a Spirit Halloween Proton Pack. It's an 80% scale Proton Pack. And what I actually did was I basically converted it into a Back to the Future mashup of Ghostbusters. Or a Back to the Future mashup of Ghostbusters. Now imagine if Doc Brown and Ray Stantz and Egon got together and built one massive pack. That was the concept. And in fact, I'm going to show you guys a couple pictures and a quick video clip of it right here. So, as you guys just saw, that was my Flux Pack. Now, unfortunately, I no longer have that. I actually sold it this past fall because I needed seed money for the HasLabs Egon Spengler Proton Pack that they held a GoFundMe, basically, at the HasLab projects. So I needed some money, and I was like, well, I haven't used my Flux Pack in a long while. I'm sure someone will want this. And it did go to a very awesome home down south. I did sell it, but who knows? You might see a comeback of that in the near future. So, for my very first cosplay, I built a proton pack. It had this, as you guys saw, tremendous outside of the box. So I am a big Back to the Future fan. So we're going to get right into this, guys. Now, just to show you guys here, this the number on this is 10300. It has 1,872 pieces in here. And as you can see, there's a little light brick in here. So this is actually going to light up. I've never worked with any kind of light up setup in a Lego kit, so that's going to be interesting. It does include the battery here, so don't worry about that, guys. But as you can see, the graphic, the advertisement picture looks tremendous right here. Now on the back, as you can see, we can have the hover mode from part 2 with Mr. Fusion. Here's the light up brick, and we can do Back to the Future 1, 2, or 3. Comes with the Doc's little plutonium containment chest. We get the Back to the Future license plate, Back to the Future 2 license plate. We got Marty's hoverboard and a banana, which of course is for the Mr. Fusion. We get Back to the Future 2 Marty and Doc here. And that's pretty much what's going to drive me. I actually held a poll on my Twitter page. And we had one vote for Back to the Future 1, and the rest of the votes were for Back to the Future 2. So we're going to be building the Back to the Future 2 concept. So what do you say we get right on into this? Now, to open up this box, I'm actually going to use... now, there's a friend of the channel by the name of Rebels, Reptiles, and Games. He has a very awesome channel. You guys should definitely check it out. And he actually sent me this. A few of his members... and it doesn't cost anything to be a member, but he sent this out as a memento for a few of his loyal viewers and friends of the channel, his members. He sent me this machined Batman emblem. It says Rebels No Rules, because that's his tagline, Rebels No Rules. But this is sharp as a tack. Like you wouldn't believe. This can cut into just about anything. That's how sharp this is. So we're going to use this to get right on into the box. Let's see, which side do we want to open this? It doesn't matter, right? Okay, so we actually have some punches here that we can push down in. There we go. To open that up. So maybe I don't have to, there we go. We're not going to be saving the box anyway, so it doesn't matter. Set this off to the side because it is razor sharp. So we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 bags of Legos, and of course we get a decal kit here with the book. So there we are. 14 bags of Legos for me to go through, guys. I think I'm going to be here all night. What do you say? And of course, hey, if you're going to be building a Back to the Future Lego set, what are you going to do for while you're building it? What are you going to do? Well, you're going to watch Back to the Future 1, 2, and 3, and I actually do have the DVD set for the cartoon series too. So looks like we're doing a Back to the Future marathon, guys. What do you say? But this is all. I gotta rip the book open, guys. I'm not wasting any time. There we go. Let's take a look at this. Let's move the box out of the way. Although it is very cool graphic right there. I love this. Now, what Lego did this time around was a little different. When they did the Ecto 1 Afterlife, they gave you, if you were a VIP member, part of their VIP club, which costs nothing, by the way. If you remember their VIP club and you ordered it in store, you actually got a version of the Ghostbusters Afterlife poster, but in a Lego format, which is pretty cool. Kind of like how this has the classic Back to the Future, one of the classic Back to the Future posters, but this is the Lego embedding of that, or the Lego version of it. They didn't give us anything like that, but they gave us schematics. I actually got images of the schematics here. You had to download them. They didn't give you any paper copies, any kind of physical copies like you could throw right in a picture frame or a poster frame and throw right on the wall, which is what I was hoping for, but unfortunately they didn't. I'm hoping maybe I can get it printed out like at a Walgreens or something, and I can put it up on the wall somewhere, but who knows what'll happen. It all depends. They give you, now they did give you, here's the thing. They gave you those images, you were able to download them, but it cost you 10 reward points in order to do it. So it wasn't exactly free, because every time you buy Legos, you accrue points to their VIP club. So in order for me to get those poster blueprints that they showed, I had to actually spend 10 of my reward points just to get it. 10 points is nothing, but still, it's kind of the point of the whole thing, right? It wasn't exactly free, you know. It kind of like, yeah, it kind of takes a little bit of fun out of it. Not too much. But let's take a look at the book here. We got the foreword. It says, Back to the Future was originally released in 1985. It just goes on, says, this is the second Lego time machine, and it's bigger and better, more detailed than the 2014 version. A key factor in its brilliance is that the design team members are all enthusiastic fans and wanted to get it right. As you'll discover, they've succeeded with flying colors. Whether you're a Lego enthusiast or a fan of the films, the Time Machine will be a proud addition to your collection. I still have to make room for mine because I have to rework the Back to the Future section I have over there. But of course, we get the iconic scene when we first see the DeLorean pull out of Doc's truck. We have pictures from the movie, of course, right there. A nice little blueprint here of the Mr. Fusion. I wish they could have thrown something like that in that digital setup. They only give us two pictures. One is a blueprint of the DeLorean sideways and the DeLorean backwards. In fact, let me go ahead and show you guys real quick. So as you guys just saw, those were the blueprints. Pretty cool looking. Now, to continue on in the book, it's cool that they have the Mr. Fusion blueprint. And like I said, I wish that was an extra that we had. Or maybe the blueprint of the flux capacitor, which is what makes time travel possible. There's just a lot of great images from Back to the Future 1. The time circuits, of course. The fire trail, Back to the Future 3. The locomotive pushing the DeLorean. I mean, just tons. Of course, we have someone in a pseudo Marty outfit with the suspenders, but he's got like little Lego brackets on there, which is pretty cool. Now, this is going to show you guys some of the things here. This is the glow brick, so we actually get a flux capacitor that will glow inside the DeLorean, which is going to be pretty cool. Now, this is, again, this is a little representation of that blueprint that I mentioned to you guys before. So, very cool. I really can't wait to build this. Now, like I said, it gives you the option of Back to the Future 3, Back to the Future 2, and the wheels can convert underneath to hover mode, and of course Back to the Future 1. Now, the cool thing about this is I could actually take these parts and interchange them seasonally. So I could have Back to the Future 1, and then I'm just swapping out the regular plutonium chamber for the Mr. Fusion. And it comes with the rod, the lightning rod, the hook and the lightning rod there. And we could always occasionally change it over to Back to the Future 3. Now, I know this is going to sound really weird, but Back to the Future 3 DeLorean is actually one of my favorites. One of the reasons is when Doc and Marty get the DeLorean out of the mine and they put new tires in, it's either the way the tires are sitting on the DeLorean or whatever, it kind of makes the DeLorean almost looks a little bit more higher or more four-wheel drive, even though it really wasn't. But that's just how it kind of looked. I like that appearance. And the fact that they had to replace one small little microchip with this big box right here was always kind of cool. And I liked seeing the electricity, you know, I guess you would call the temporal fields emanating from that component all around the DeLorean. You know, especially emanating right on that big part right on the front. It almost kind of made the DeLorean almost look like a muscle car. Like you have the, the air scoop, I I don't know what the actual term is, but you know how on muscle cars you got that bit of the engine that kind of sticks out in front. That kind of gave it that appearance, even though the front of the car is actually the trunk and the engine's in the back. But this looks very cool, and I can't wait to start building this, guys. I really can't. I mean, we got quite a few pages here. We got about, not counting the index of parts, we're looking at 294 right here. So 294 parts. This is going to be, I don't think I'm going to be building this in one day. I think I'm going to split it between tonight and tomorrow. But I really cannot wait, guys. This is going to be, this is going to be heavy. So at this point, I'm going to place you guys on a brief hold, and we'll be back. Okay, guys. So we're just finished bag 3. We're about to begin bag 4. So basically, this is going to be the interior. Now, if we flip this over, we already have the hover mode mechanism enabled. You'll see what I mean. So there we are. Coming through pretty good. There's a few parts, like this mechanism part right here, that was a little tricky, but I got through it. You're actually going to be employing some rubber bands that go in here that do come with the kit. But it's coming together. So check this out. We got the DMC, the flux bar, the wheels. And I do like that we got the blue on the other side of the flux bar. It would have been cool if they had some kind of a electronic element to it, since we have this for the flux capacitor to light up. It would have been cool if they could have applied some kind of element like that to the rest of this, but that's perfectly fine, guys. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of aftermarket kits that people come out with. So we have our seats. We don't have anything behind there, which could have been cool. They could have applied some kind of a secondary light brick setup for the. Usually in the DeLorean there is a readout right behind the driver's side that basically represents your energy output or your speed, because you have to reach that necessary 88 miles per hour. Now the steering wheel does move, but it doesn't do any kind of steering. It's just for looks. Just like we had the shifter and the time circuit controls on and off, the time circuit displays, and of course on the other side we have our gauges. This was a very fun setup. Now, the exhaust ports were a little janky at first, but I was able to work with them. Mr. Fusion does open up. We got a banana and a beer can, because you gotta power the time circuits. Now, to turn this around, we have some very cool details here for the lights. It could have been cool. They could have thrown in an extra sticker right for this side of the bumper that says DeLorean, just like on the car in the movie. But how awesome is this, guys? But that's not all. We turned it on its side. We have our little mechanism here, which will automatically as if I can do this with 2 hands, flips the wheels around for hover mode. So yes, you can have the DeLorean in hover mode display. I love it. The doors are a little loose. They won't stay up on their own, but you could probably take a little bit of silly tack or something to kind of wedge that in place if you wanted to. We do get Back to the Future to Doc and Marty. Now, the fact that they gave us, excuse me, the fact that they gave us the parts to do 1, 2, and 3, it could have been cool if they threw in the extra minifigs, Doc and Marty from Part 1, and maybe Doc and Marty from Part 3, but who knows, that might be something that they do down the line. But there we are. Now, I have it in Back to the Future 2, but I'm highly tempted to put this on to make it Back to the Future 3 and swap out the tires. What do you guys think? Okay, guys, so here we are. We're back. As you can see, I shifted the DeLorean from Back to the Future 2 to Back to the Future 3. Personally, I've always loved the look of it. Like I said before, I don't know, it just kind of gives it a beefier kind of a look. The wheels, I mean, a different kind of style. And we have this, let me give you guys a closer look right there. So there we go. I really do love this kit. If you're a Back to the Future fan, I highly recommend getting this. I mean, it goes without saying. Is it a long build? Yes, it is a long build. However, I mean, you can't go wrong with this. Back to the Future is so iconic, just like Ghostbusters with Ecto-1. It's a vehicle, it's something if you're at a Comic-Con or you're on the road, you see a DeLorean, even if it doesn't have all the gear and everything on it, you see the DeLorean, you automatically think Back to the Future. You know, you see an old style ambulance, you know, maybe an old 59 Caddy kind of a hearse or something like that. You're going to think Ghostbusters. These are vehicles, when you see them, you just can't help but think of those movies, think of that culture, those franchises. It's just reflex. Now, we're actually going to do a comparison right now between this and the Ecto-1 Afterlife that I built about a year and a half now? Maybe almost 2 years? So, let's do that comparison right now. So, as you guys can see here, we have the DeLorean side by side with the Ecto-1, and they're pretty much scaled perfectly to each other. Now, I got to dust mine a lot, obviously. It's been sitting on a shelf for quite a while. But as far as scale goes, I mean, take a look at the doors. Scale the door is pretty much spot on. These are the same scale. I mean, even the tires are the same size. So, I mean, if you put a DeLorean right next to the Ecto, this is what you're going to have. And they scale, I'd say they scale perfectly. I mean, obviously, DeLorean has a slightly lower profile, but they are right on target with each other. I mean, they look fantastic. I mean, the two of them together, I mean, two of my favorites. The Ecto-1 because I love Ghostbusters, and the DeLorean because Back to the Future, because Marty McFly. I mean, you really can't go wrong with either of these. I mean, imagine having one on one shelf and another on another shelf, guys. You can't go wrong with that. So it scales perfectly here. I mean, it's crazy seeing them side by side. You know, honestly, if you're a huge, mega Back to the Future fan, and you have the money, get 3 DeLoreans so you can have one from Back to the Future 1, another from Back to the Future 2, and of course Back to the Future 3 like I have here right now. But I mean, another thing you can do is you can always do the seasonal thing. Take the wheels off, swap them out with the regular wheels. You can build the antenna, the hook that is the lightning rod hook that goes into the flux capacitor or into the car itself. There is the version to build the plutonium chamber instead of Mr. Fusion, but I like Mr. Fusion. He sticks out. He just shows off more. So yeah. So these do scale perfectly to each other, guys. I can't recommend this any higher. On a scale of 1 to 10, what do I give the DeLorean? Well, quite simply put, I give it an 11. It's everything I mean, could it be a little better? Sure. Every person, not every person is going to be perfectly happy with it. Okay? Let's be honest. Not everyone's going to be perfectly happy with it. I did mention that I would have loved to have some lighting around here, but you know what? I know there's going to be some aftermarket kits down the line. They did the same for the Ecto. Although I did not jump on those because, quite simply put, I did not jump on those because, well, I don't feel like taking the Ecto-1 apart and applying those lights to it. I mean, I might somewhere down the line if I get really bored. Maybe I have, some days I want to kill. That might be something I might want to do down the line. But I'm sure with the DeLorean, we're going to have some light kits applied to it at some point in time. And with that, I might be tempted to go ahead and take it apart. But all in all, I mean, you really can't go wrong with this. If you're a Back to the Future fan, you need to grab this. I believe right now stores and online are selling out, but they're going to be restocking very soon. So please check out your local Lego stores. And like I said, I actually signed up for the VIP program a long time ago. You do accrue points, and periodically you can redeem those points for sets, discounts on online purchases. You always want to check out Lego's website. No, this video is not sponsored by Lego, but this is just information I want to share with you guys. I highly recommend signing up for Lego VIP because when you go into the store, maybe you're buying a set for your kid, a set for yourself. Oh, you get some free stuff. Because when my wife went to the store to pick this up, because I was working and she literally works 5 minutes from the Lego store, she went and picked it up for me, and she actually wound up getting some Easter sets for herself. Pretty awesome, right? So they do a lot of fun seasonal things, like maybe you're purchasing a set for X amount of dollars and you get an additional set for free. Maybe you give that to your niece or something, little decorative stuff. They do that around the holidays, around Easter, pretty much year round, guys. So you always want to check out your local Lego store or lego.com for any kind of promotions that they may or may not have going on. And honestly, guys, these sets, they don't keep making these sets for years. They do eventually retire these. So just like the Ecto-1 at some point is going to be completely retired. And that's why I grabbed it as soon as it came out. Oh, that I'm a Ghostbuster fan. Hello. But with the DeLorean, I had to grab this right away because, well, it's the DeLorean. It's Back to the Future. Right? I had to get it. And, I mean, the book itself, I mean, you could set this up maybe a little propped on your wall or on your shelf, maybe displayed, right with it. And what's cool is the book actually has some facts about Back to the Future. Like it talks about the A car that took some damage and how they rebuilt it and everything. There is also a QR code on here, by the way. So you might want to take a look into that, guys. This is probably one of the best builds I've done since the Ecto-1. The Ecto-1 came out, what was it, about a year and a half ago? And this is probably my favorite build since then. I've built Legos since then. I mean, the Infinity Gauntlet, a lot of the Star Wars helmets, those are very fun builds. But honestly, if I had to say my top two, they're going to be these babies right here. They're going to be the Ecto and the DeLorean. And that's all I have to say about that, guys. Now, if you guys like this video, by the way, give me a thumbs up. Leave a comment in the description below if you have any comments, questions, queries whatsoever. You can always hit me on my socials, which are right there at the bottom of the screen, guys. Always message me at Daves_Dimension on Instagram. I reply to everyone. Also, please do yourself a tremendous favor and drop into the video description below. I want you to check out our YouTube warriors. And also, please help support the channel. We have a charity event that's going to be taking place May 21st. It's going to be a charity live stream to help fundraise for the Ride for Roswell, which is an annual bike riding fundraiser for Roswell Park Comprehensive Cancer Institute. So if you're watching this video before May 21st, please make some plans to drop in on that stream. We're going to be streaming all day long, and we're going to be doing mystery box raffles. They're going to be themed box raffles. We have I think 1 or 2 Star Wars mystery boxes we're giving away. We are going to have a DC McFarlane universe, a Funko Pop mystery box. We're going to have tons of mystery boxes and a special mystery hot toy that is going to be raffled off at the end of the stream. All proceeds go to the Ride for Roswell, and you can drop into the video description below to check the links right there if you want to donate directly to Roswell Park, or if you want the link to the announcement video, which will give you all the fantastic details for this amazing stream that'll be coming on May 21st. That's Saturday morning between 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. Eastern Time. So until next time, guys, this is Dave from Dave's Dimension saying keep on busting, and I will always catch you on the flip side. Take care.